Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mad Mike Wilson, professional fighter and coach here at Independent MMA and Fitness in Newnan, Georgia. We're going to go over some basic need-to-knows about striking, kind of get how to realize what stance you need to be in, where my hands need to be, where my feet need to be, and placement, and just run through some basics that really help you, stuff you can work at home before you even come to class. For most people, it will be whichever hand I write with will be my backhand. So if I'm right-handed, I will stand with my right hand back. If I'm left-handed, I will stand with my left hand back. For MMA or Muay Thai, I'm standing square with my hips facing forward and my toes facing in front of me. I do not want to be in a bladed stance for MMA or for Muay Thai. Hips forward, toes wide. My hands are high above my eyes like I'm looking through a pair of binoculars. My elbows are in tight, my chin is down, my shoulders are high. I need to be light on my lead foot to be ready to check kicks. So my stance will end up looking something like this. All right, guys, when you're ready to start throwing punches, there's a few things I need to make sure I'm doing every time I throw a punch. Whenever one hand punches, the other hand blocks. I never want to drop my hand when I throw a punch. I need to make sure I'm rotating my punches and not just sticking my hands out. Keep my chin below my shoulder and protect it. And my hands always come back to home base. I don't drop my hands. Straight out, straight back, turning my punches. And now that we know how to punch properly, we have 9 different punches that we use in our system as far as striking. So if you're going to be a new student with us, it's highly recommended that you learn these 9 numbers. That way you can integrate them in class, and you can practice these at home all by yourself, shadow boxing in the mirror, or if you have a bag or something like that at home. They're going to start off whichever foot I have forward. That's going to be my lead side. So that's always going to be my number 1, regardless of which side that is. So whichever foot I have forward, number 1 is going to be my lead jab. Make sure it comes right back. My number 2 is going to be my rear cross. Straight out, straight back, turning the hip. My number 3 will be my lead hook. I want to make sure my thumb is up, like I'm holding a coffee cup, or my thumb is down. I want to make sure my thumb is out of the way. Make sure I rotate. Numbers 4 and 5 are going to be my uppercuts. Number 4, number 5. So number 4 in the back, number 5 in the front. I want to make sure I bring my hips with my elbows, not just rolling my hands. 4, 5, and keep my chin on my shoulders. My number 6 and 7 will be attached to my opponent's body. I want to attack the ribs, not the belly. Number 6 to the back, 7 to the front. Bringing my hips with the punch. My number 8 will be stepping, punching straight into my opponent's diaphragm and lowering my level. And number 9 is that big overhand, like I'm throwing a baseball. So I take a big step with my lead foot so I have a base. Make sure I don't pick my back foot up. Keep planted. Big overhand as I bring it back. So running through my numbers. Number 1 will be my lead jab. Number 2 will be my rear cross. Number 3 will be my lead hook. Number 4 will be my rear uppercut. Number 5 will be my lead uppercut. Number 6 will be my rear hand to the body. Number 7 will be my lead hand to the body. Number 8 will be my rear hand to the diaphragm. And number 9, big overhand behind the ear. Whenever you're ready. Now that we've gone over how to properly punch in our basic numbers, let's do a little bit talking about basic defense. So from my hands being in their proper position, I always want to block with my elbows, bringing them in front of my nose, my hand, cupping behind my ear, and closing all the space to make sure I'm protected from anything coming underneath, down the middle, or around the side. I don't want to bring my hands away to block. I protect my head with my elbow tight. If I move my head side to side, I move forward to dodge, slipping and slapping side to side. If I duck under a punch, I never look at the ground. I squat and keep my eyes up to make sure I can see my opponent. So make sure we remember blocking tight, slipping, slapping, keeping my eyes up when I roll underneath punches. Right, now that we've talked a little bit about punches, let's get into a little bit of kicking basics. The main thing I need to remember when I'm kicking is using and opening up my hips. So anytime I'm looking to kick, I want to make sure I open my hip. My leg can only travel a little bit further than my toe is pointing. See how far you can get your foot across? If I point my foot to open my hip, now I have full rotation, come all the way around. But before I kick, I want to open my hip, give myself full range of motion. Whichever foot I step with, I use that hand to protect and bring my forearm across my face. I post for balance, and then I can use that post to bring my kick through and right back into my fight stance. So before I kick, I will step to open up my hip, protect my head, post, and fire my kick through. I kick through my opponent, not at my opponent. So kick all the way around when you're practicing your kicks. All right, now that we know how to kick, we need to make sure we're kicking properly. I never want to kick anyone with my foot. My foot is made of small, little bitty bones, and they break very, very easily. If I kick someone, I want to land with my shin bone. This is one solid bone, it's very hard to break. So this is what I want to impact my opponent with. So if I'm kicking a bag or practicing my kicks, make sure I'm stepping in close enough to where I do not break my foot, but I land with my shin bone into whatever I'm attacking with the body I don't want to kick the hip with my foot. A bony hip means a broken foot. Land with my shin to where my foot goes behind whenever I'm kicking to make sure I'm doing maximum damage and keeping my feet safe. All right, now we've talked a little bit about kicks and our placement. I don't want to get hit with somebody's shin, so I need to make sure I'm defending against kick properly. I always want to make sure if something kicks are coming to my head, I get both hands on the kick. One arm versus one leg, your arm is going to lose. I want to put both arms on the kick and then close the rest of the space by bringing my knee to my elbow. So whichever side the kick is coming, my hands protect my head. My hands are always above. I'm in between my elbows. My knee comes to my elbow, so I build a wall with my forearm and my shin. So as the kick comes, I can check, 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 and hopefully have their foot run into my knee or my shin. About footwork, I need to make sure anytime I'm moving in a fight, I'm in an excellent fight stance. I never want to cross my feet or end up off balance. If I'm off balance, I can fall down much easier. So some simple rules to follow are going to be whichever direction I'm moving, that's the foot that's going to move first. So if I move forward, my lead foot will open my base. My rear foot will bring me back to square. If I move backwards, my rear foot will move first, and then my lead foot will bring me back to square. If I move to my left foot will move first, and my lead foot will follow, bringing me back to square. Also, right foot, then left foot, back to square. I never want to cross my feet. I have no defense if I'm crossing my feet. I cannot attack from there. I need to be light on my toes and my feet staying wide regardless of the direction I'm moving. So I'm capable of attacking, defending. If my feet are crossed or close together, I cannot be effective.